Now's the time to reform an unsustainable healthcare system that's imposing crushing costs on families, businesses, large and small, as well as state and federal budgets.
And those who thought that the Iraqi forces, if the American forces can leave, will be incapable of imposing peace and security, these people prove to be wrong.
LBJ stalked the aisles, imposing his will and collecting votes. And on education, our approach has been to partner with you, to offer more flexibility in exchange for better standards, to lift the cap on charter schools, to spur reform, not by imposing it from Washington, but by asking you to come up with some of the best ways for your states to succeed. Australia joined with us in imposing swift and firm sanctions, comprehensive sanctions against the Libyan.
Clearly, that you can be powerful, very powerful indeed, without being aloof, without imposing, and without being aggressive. And being a global leader of Africa.
The unacceptable situation in Syria has prompted the European Union to call on the international community to join its efforts in imposing additional sanctions.
Just taxing millionaires and billionaires, just imposing the Buffett rule won't do it. First, as authorized by the executive order I signed 2 weeks ago, we are imposing sanctions on specific individuals responsible for undermining the sovereignty, territorial integrity, and government of Ukraine. Based on the executive order that I signed in response to Russia's initial intervention in Ukraine, we're imposing sanctions on more senior officials of the Russian government. We're united in imposing a cost on Russia for its actions so far. Of course, all this comes atop the measures and sanctions that the United States and others around the world are imposing on Russia. We cannot have a society in which some dictator someplace can start imposing censorship here in the United States. Last year, as we were doing the hard work of imposing sanctions, along with our allies, as we were reinforcing our presence with the frontline states, Mr. Putin's aggression, it was suggested, was a masterful display of strategy and Last year, as we were doing the hard work of imposing sanctions, along with our allies, as we were reinforcing our presence with the frontline states, Mr. Putin's aggression, it was suggested, was a masterful display of strategy and strength. That's what that the world is unified in imposing a cost for this aggression. Mentioned, sometimes civil servants, they don't feel like their salaries are high enough, and they think that it's just the way of doing business. I supplement my salary by imposing my